Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of our season 12 recap of America's Got Talent. I'm Cody Patterson. Along with me is the guy that is the original Man of Mystery. Here's Cody Mims.
Hello, everybody. Back again.
It is season 12. We're back.
Yes, indeed.
And it just seemed like it was last month that we were talking about season 8.
We never quit.
We never quit. I'm glad we're here. We've got a lot of new stuff to talk about this season.
Yeah.
We got Tyra Banks.
Mm-hmm.
No more Nick Cannon. Sorry to see that go. We've got new acts. The same judges are back.
Yeah.
So it's looking to be a good season so far.
Uh-huh.
What'd you think of this episode, the premiere episode of season 12?
Well, in short, I thought it was really good. And I have some more in-depth thoughts on the episode overall, whenever you want to go into those.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a moment. I'm with you. I thought it was a pretty good episode. It seems like AGT's really working out the kinks to remove some of the riffraff from the auditions. And we're getting some pretty good acts right off the bat.
That's the exact same impression I had of it.
Well, before we get into it, I just kind of want to remind everybody that if you want to reach out to us at all, we are on Twitter and we're on Facebook at AGTcast. We'd appreciate your comments, questions, anything you want to ask us or mention to us, and we'll talk about them here on the podcast. You can also reach out to us on our email, agtcast@gmail.com. We're also working on getting a domain for our website. We have a website that has all the podcasts. We're working on getting a domain for that. That's going to be agtcast.com. We also have a new way for you to subscribe to the podcast, and I'm going to send it over to Cody Mims, let him talk about that.
Yeah, so there's this new thing called Revoice, which is for feeds and that sort of thing. And there's one for us if you want to get episodes of this podcast in your messaging app, such as Facebook or Slack or whatever. We just tweeted a link to that. It's revoice.me/p/America's-got-podcast.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Yeah. So I don't know really why you'd want to do that, but if you do, there you go.
Yeah, it's just different ways to kind of get the podcast from us. You know, we're on iTunes as well. Are we on Stitcher or Google Play or any of those? Okay, great. Looks like we're on all the big ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd like it if you would leave us a review. And in fact, it's not iTunes anymore. It's now Apple Podcast.
Indeed.
So, looks like Apple's trying to separate itself from itself and just send all of its products out into the Apple sphere. So, yeah, go out, Apple Podcast or iTunes, whatever you want to call it. Go out there and leave us a review. We'd really appreciate that, too. And possibly if you left us not a 4-buzzer review, but a 5-buzzer review, then we may read that on the podcast. We'd really appreciate that. Also, one final thing before we get into the episode. We're recording this on Wednesday night. This week, there's only one episode. I'm not sure if they're going to continue to do that through auditions. Once we really get into the live shows, we'll start recording on Thursday nights. That way we can watch both episodes, the performances and the results, and then we'll podcast about that on Thursday night. But for right now, we're going to be on Wednesday night. So you should get this in your favorite podcast player, hopefully on Thursday or as soon as we can get it up for you to download. So, anything else on any of that?
I think that's it.
Well, let's get into some auditions. How about that?
Yeah.
So again, we have Tyra Banks, Let me go ahead and ask you, what do you think of Tyra so far?
I think she's doing pretty well. This episode, she was really kind of off to the side, and I suspect that'll change in future seasons when she's more comfortable on the AGT stage. But I thought she did a pretty good job. I actually didn't find myself missing Nick really at all, weirdly.
I felt myself missing Nick just a little bit, just because we've had him for so long, and have this changeover to Tyra. Tyra I think she did a pretty good job. You're right. She was off to the side. There were a few performances that she came out and participated, just like Nick would, but she seemed kind of reserved. It's like she didn't really want to get out there quite as much. I think she will get more comfortable with that probably even as the season goes along, but definitely as other seasons pass, 13 if she sticks around for 14 or however long she wants to stick around. I think she will get more comfortable at doing things with the performances and with the judges. So,
yeah.
We have the return of the golden buzzer, and we had a golden buzzer in this episode, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But not many rule changes from what we haven't heard of any different rule changes so far this season.
Yeah, the only thing I'm unclear about is if Tyra's going to have a golden buzzer, and I suspect she will, but we don't really know.
Well, in one of the previews, I think it was a preview, or there was something during the episode, they showed Tyra hitting that buzzer. Okay. Now, it could have been a thing like Nick did last season with Dorothy Williams, where he just did it as a joke, but we won't know until, episode 5, I guess?
Yeah.
So, I suspect that each episode will have a judge do a golden buzzer at the end, like they typically do, and then Tyra will probably do it down the road in episode 5. So, do you have anything else on Tyra or the golden buzzer?
No, I guess that's all.
Well, we start off with Joku, the chicken.
Yeah. I thought this was very cool. It didn't really get the rhythms right, so it felt to me like kind of teaching a chicken to play Simon, but I still thought it was really neat, and I would give this act a yes.
Yeah, I'll give it a yes after it kind of got going. It was very slow at the start, and the judges looked like they were very uninterested. But once Joku started, it was really cool. So Joku got 4 yeses and gets to move on to the next round. We come back from a break. That was a quick segment. We come back from a break with Tyra outside talking to contestants, and she kept trying to say America's Next Top Talent.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was sort of one of the only real Tyra moments we got this episode. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because she did America's Next Top Model for so long. And now this is America's Got Talent, which is very similar. So I'm sure she did that a lot, and they just showed her talking about it. And she was talking to the next contestant, Preacher. Is that right?
Yes, they seamlessly went into it, which I think we both agree this was more of a talent-focused episode than previous seasons, and I kind of like how they're doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see good talent, but one of the things that really attracted me to AGT was also seeing people just completely embarrass themselves. And we did see a little bit of that, I think, with the Kazoo Queens and the Mystery Man or the Man of Mystery and a couple of others. But this one seemed to be about 70 to 75% good talent and then 25% just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So the next one, you're right, they moved seamlessly right into Preacher Lawson. What'd you think of Preacher? He's a comedian.
Yeah. He didn't really make me laugh. I'm pretty tough on the comedians on here, but I found him more enjoyable than most of the comedians on this show. And I think I'm not going to mind watching him from round to round.
No, I really enjoyed him. I kind of had some reservations at the beginning. I didn't know what to expect. But once he got into it, especially when the judges asked for another joke, and then he told that final one, then it really kind of won me over. I think he's going to be really funny to watch.
Yeah, Simon is adorable thinking he ad-libbed that.
I know. All of these comedians already have, a set in their pocket, and they just kind of have to pull it out because they go out there and they're ready to tell ABC joke, and then they have to pull out joke D out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So, I hope we get to see him for weeks to come because he should be really funny.
Yeah.
Next we get Yoli Mayer, a singer. And she started out singing I Put a Spell on You by Annie Lennox. And Simon did the same thing Simon did with her, what he did with Ronnie Martin last year. And he stopped the music.
Yeah, he just kind of waved his hand. I didn't know he had a special signal to cut the music.
Yeah, I think Simon could just wave his hand and anybody will do anything that he wants him to do.
Yeah.
So they stopped the music. They didn't feel it. They didn't, she's 21. They wanted her to play something young and fresh. She had this giant jewelry necklace on and these earrings, and she was all dressed up, and Tyra came out, took all the jewelry, took her shoes away, and she kind of just settled in. And then she sang Make It Rain by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this?
She was good. She didn't get me too excited, but I think she has a real quality, interesting voice, and I think paired with the right music, she could really be someone that I enjoy. So I'd probably give her a yes.
I would have given her a yes too. And I think we've kind of talked about this. I'm going to kind of segue into something real quick. We've talked about on previous podcasts that in the audition round, I'm pretty lenient on the contestants. As long as you have some sort of talent, I'll put you through. As long as it's not just completely ridiculous. Now, singers, if you can sing and you're not off key and you're actually on the beat and it actually sounds like you're singing, you're going to pretty much get a yes for me. I know Simon has much higher standards, and it seems that the standards have gotten higher since he came along.
Yeah.
So, I would have definitely given her a yes and see what she can do in the next round.
Uh-huh.
After that, we get the Man of Mystery. So he goes out on stage. He calls Howie and Tyra. And this is the first time we get to see Tyra doing something on the stage with a contestant. What'd you think of the Man of Mystery?
I thought he was kind of entertaining. I liked his voice. He sounded like a Justin Roiland character.
Okay.
And I was actually kind of intrigued. I wanted to see what he would do next. But that being said, I do appreciate Heidi, the true most critical judge, sticking to her guns on this one.
What'd she do?
Everyone, I guess, wanted her to vote yes, but she didn't.
Oh, yeah. She definitely said a no. And, him coming out of the bag in like a 90. We've talked before. Heidi is the family judge, so this was probably not very family friendly to her. If her kids are watching at home, then they can't be watching this because they have a guy dressed up in a 90. But I think he's more of a comedian. I mean, he's kind of does some tricks, being chained up, but I think that's all kind of a facade, and he's more of a comedian than a magician.
Yeah, I think that's very possible.
I hope we got 3 yeses and a no. Is that right?
I think Howie said no as well.
You're right. Howie and Heidi said no. I wish we could have seen more of him, especially just in the next round. I don't think he would have gotten past the next round, but I think it would just kind of been interesting to see what he would have done in the next round.
Yeah, he might be terrible, but I was intrigued.
Yeah, he might have been absolutely terrible. And one thing I saw on here that I don't know if I've seen before is he did get 4 buzzes, but Simon had his buzz removed. I don't think I've seen a judge tell them, take my buzz away.
I remember someone doing it. It was either Simon or Howard, but I mean, you can still vote yes even if you buzz him. But I guess he had to take it away or else he would have been disqualified. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true, because they got 4, so he had to
Yeah.
I guess had to take it away. And then I think Mel B took hers away too.
Yeah. It's a bit of a gray area in the rule book, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, he got sent home, and we won't be seeing him again. We then get like a Tyra segment, some montage of Tyra. She came out and performed with the Kazoo Queens. So it looks like she's starting to get a little more comfortable. You're right, as you mentioned earlier, she did spend a lot of time off stage, but we saw a few times where she came on and performed, which I personally like to see. I always like it when the judges and the host get involved. The next act we see is Junior and Emily, a brother-sister salsa duo. What'd you think of them?
I am super into them doing this with electronic music. I think it's a very cool idea. I don't know why they felt the need to use both electronic and salsa music. I hope they don't do that again. It doesn't seem like good presentation to me, but I would give them a yes. I thought this was super cool and original.
I was a little confused when they say that they're salsa dancers, and then they start dancing to electronic techno music. I was expecting them to start right off the bat with the salsa music. It kind of fit. I mean, and then they transitioned into it, but it kind of threw me off at first when I was expecting salsa music because they're salsa dancers. No, I liked them. I think they did an excellent job. It was very, very technical. I hope it doesn't get... sometimes we see these kind of dancers. I know they've been dancing together for a long time. I hope it doesn't get weird between the two of them, since they are brother and sister, and start doing some moves that non-brothers and sisters would do. That's my only concern.
Sure.
They did get 4 yeses, so we're going to see them in the next round.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
The next contestant we get is Will, a magician. And he does, I'm guessing he's going to do close-up magic. I don't know if he does big magic. He may be more like a John Dornbos that does close-up magic. We find out that this act that last night was the very first time that he was performing that act. What'd you think of it?
Jeez Louise. I mean, that sure ramped up more than I was expecting. I mean, seriously, just watching it, I thought it had to be camera tricks, because seeing something change unobscured like that is astounding.
Oh, yeah. And they had a camera right up there in his face.
Yeah.
So that, so that even the people in the audience and the judges could see right down on it. And I don't think I've ever seen them do that before.
Yeah, this dude is very confident. It's absolute yes for me.
Oh, absolutely. While watching him, though, and I kind of thought about this last year, that acts like magicians, illusionists, danger acts, do they do too much in the audition, and then our expectation for them is too high later on?
I don't know. Some magicians really pull it off. I think a lot of them can advance pretty far, but we saw some really good magicians today, so I don't know if they can step it up like they did.
So yeah, I look forward to seeing Will down the road. Simon told him that if he progresses through the show, that he needs to work on his stage presence.
I don't know, I guess.
You didn't really notice?
No, I mean, I thought it was really good. I mean, it was very close up. They had a big screen for the rest of the audience to see it. So, I mean, it depends on what kind of trick he does, I think. I think this one was very good.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we get the next up, we get a Donald Trump impersonator. The singing Trump.
Yeah, it was funny in the intro. He said, the President of the United States on America's Got Talent, because it kind of sounds like something that could actually happen.
It could, and I wouldn't have been surprised if it was the actual Donald Trump doing this.
Yeah.
Did you expect what he did when he came out?
No, not really.
Did you think he was just going to kind of tell some jokes or do some impersonations and not really sing Uptown Funk.
Yeah, I was not expecting this act, and I thought what he ended up doing was very dumb.
What part?
Just like singing.
Okay.
It's not really. He kind of drops the impression when he sings. And
yes.
Also, like I don't know what the point is. Like Heidi said, this is not about liking Donald Trump or not liking Donald Trump, and I think that like kind of sums up what's wrong with this act. Like it says absolutely nothing. Like he could dress up as anybody, and I don't think it really matters. I mean, he's not the best impersonator, but I feel like we're not even at the point where that even is taken into consideration. I just don't understand this act at all.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Did you like the act, though?
No.
No, okay. I think that's fine. I liked it in the sense that I was entertained by it. I agree with you that he could have been impersonating anybody, because once he started singing, it was just the guy singing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he was singing in Donald Trump's voice. It sounds like, though, this is something that he does all the time. I mean, he has a Twitter of the singing Trump. So it's, it sounds like it's something he does routinely.
Yeah.
I don't know why Mel B has to be Debbie Downer on stuff like this. I mean, right when he came out, she immediately buzzed. She was out of it the entire time. Everyone else was up singing and dancing and kind of enjoying it, being entertained. But she was kind of just sitting there with her arms crossed the entire time.
Yeah. I mean, buzzing him when he came out, I think, was more of a joke. But I don't know. Like, I'm kind of with her. I just don't see what the point of this act is at all.
Okay. He did get 3 yeses, so we are going to see him in the next round. Do you think that's all he'll do, is just sing songs, or do you think he'll actually do impersonations? Do you think he'll do anything else besides Donald Trump?
No, I think he's going to say Trump the whole time. That's his Twitter handle, I think, is the singing Trump. And this one, I think, aside from our Golden Buzzer tonight, was possibly the most viral act of the night. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this goes. It could take off, maybe not. I thought the best parts were when he was sort of like talking to the judges in the crowd. He got a few jokes in there, and like, I mean, if you're not going to do jokes, I don't know why you're dressing up as Trump, That
is true, and I couldn't quite figure out, when he was doing the bit as Trump and not singing, I couldn't figure out if he was actually making fun of Trump or if he was actually for Trump and doing that as kind of a, they say impersonation is the best form of flattery. Yeah. I don't know if he was actually for Trump or if he was making fun of Trump.
Yeah, I think he got some digs in, but I mean, in general, I think he's not trying to take a stance because, I mean, you're probably just not going to win if you do. But I mean, we'll see. There could be some more political stuff from our comedians this year. I think that's probably where stuff like that is going to come from. But I really have no idea how far this act is going to go. I find this very hard to predict.
Okay, I think that's fair. I'm going to say he doesn't get out of the next round just because it doesn't. I don't know of much more he can do except just sing. I enjoyed it in the fact that I was entertained, that he could sing and dance. The Trump's impersonations were a little entertaining. I laughed a little bit at some of the, especially when he said Mel B was from Australia, and then they corrected him and he said, well, I don't know my countries. So, yeah. I mean, I laughed a little bit at that, but I just don't think it can go very far. So,
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess it's still up to the judges next time.
It is, yeah. I don't think... Yeah, that's it. You're right.
Yeah, they were pretty into it. Howie was loving it.
Oh, yeah, Howie's loving it. But if you notice, I don't know if any of them are American citizens. Like, I don't know if any of them could even vote.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Anything else on the singing Trump?
Nope.
Okay.
This show is brought to you by Audible, a better way to read. Those times you're like, man, what do I do? I already listened on my podcast. Well, folks, you read with your ears. Whether you're doing dishes or just mowing the lawn, hopefully with some noise canceling headphones, or just chilling, just hardcore chilling. You could use some audiobooks in your life. So get Audible at audibletrial.com/AGT and you'll get a 30-day free trial. All right? Thanks. Bye.
Then our next act is Merrick Hanna, a dancer, and they kind of did a little montage as well of kids back in the green room or in the waiting room, and I love when kids say, "I've been watching AGT for a long time," because it's like, I know it's a joke, but it's like you're 6. So it's like, what'd you think of Merrick?
Well, first of all, he looks like a little Drew Lynch, which I thought was cool.
I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
That was season. I don't even remember if it was last year. I guess it wasn't, but he was a comedian.
Okay, I was going to say, don't say it was season 9 or 10.
Okay. Yeah, I immediately had to watch this one again after it went to commercial because I felt like I missed something.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I watched it again, and I just don't think it's all that good, honestly. I'm not about it.
Okay, good. I'm actually glad you said that because I was going to feel real bad if I came on here and you praised it, and then I was like, I don't get it. Because I'm the exact same way that you were. I had it on, and he started, and it was a real slow song, so I immediately lost interest. And then at the end, everybody was just praising it. They're like, "Man, that was powerful. Oh, that was so great." And I was like, "Did I miss something?"
Yeah. My theory is that people were taken by the song. This is a relatively obscure song, I think. And,
okay.
It was an interesting choice. It's kind of like an emo song. So, yeah, I guess that's what it was because I don't know. I just didn't get it either.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because this evening before we came on, I was rewatching the show again, and I watched that, and I just was like, I'm going to watch it again and see if I missed something. And I watched it again, and I said, no, it's still not that good. So I know we're probably going to get a lot of hate mail from this, but I'm glad we're on the same page to say that we didn't enjoy or we didn't like it. I'm just going to say it. We didn't care for it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see him again though.
Yeah, I hope he does something a little more upbeat because that's what I was expecting. And I think he had tweeted earlier this week or maybe over the weekend that he was going to be on the episode, and it was just a little clip of him standing up on like a diner bar, and he did kind of like a little lean over, kind of like Michael Jackson does in Smooth Criminal.
Okay,
if you're familiar with that, it just kind of leans over, and he would kind of do some other like pop and lock robot moves, and I was just thinking, it's not that good. It's not clean. It's very, very sloppy.
Yeah, it's a weird kind of like combination of dance styles, I guess. But yeah, this was an interesting song to do that too. And,
okay.
I mean, I'm kind of intrigued, I guess.
Yeah, I listened to the song as well on the rewatch, and I was thinking this song sounds very similar to like a Toy Story movie. like he has a toy, he then grows up, he then goes back, and the toy's broken. Is that kind of what I get from it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but the music. Okay, but the dancing, I wanted something faster. I wanted something upbeat. It was way too slow, way too sad for me. Simon said it was one of the best performances he's ever seen. I apparently he didn't watch season 8 because.
Yeah, I think didn't he say like it was the best dance performance he saw on the show?
Yeah, Simon said this was one of the best dance performances he's ever seen on this show.
Wowie zowie.
So, I don't know. So, listeners, if you've got anything to say about that, please let us know. Or let us know if we missed something, because if we did, both of us missed it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of emo, we then get right into Puddle's Pity Party.
Yeah, another act that doesn't talk the year after Tape Face.
That's right, but he does sing.
Yeah. I think that's really creative. I was kind of expecting him to do that when the music started, and I think it's a good hook. I vibe with it.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to people, but once music starts, he starts singing. So yeah. I didn't expect that, and he's good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He sang the song "Chandelier." Are you familiar with that song?
Yeah, and that's another thing I like about this act. I guess it's not so much like the singing itself, but the arrangements of like these sad pop songs into these like really droopy sounding things. I think it's a very cool act.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. If he kind of holds to the not talking to anybody but only singing, I think it's going to be a pretty good bit.
Yeah. And at the end, the judges were like, "Oh, he's really crying." Like, I don't think he's really, really crying. I think he just knows how to do that. But
he might have been. I mean, everyone there really enjoyed it. He was probably very happy that everyone enjoyed it. You never know. He could have been really crying.
Yeah. And I wonder if there's anything in that case he brought out. I don't know why he had a lantern also.
Yeah, it just adds a little bit to the sadness, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Yeah, I like me some Puddles. Anything else on Puddles?
I'd give him a yes.
I would have given him a yes as well. So we'll see him in the next round. We then get Demian, an escape artist. And typical AGT fashion, they added a lot of drama and suspense to an act. He could die.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but this one really caught my attention. It was a very cool performance. I immediately watched this one again too. I was thinking it was a by-the-book performance of a classic trick, but it's actually a pretty smart variation, I think. So this dude rocks. I thought it was very cool suspense, and I just liked all of it.
Yeah, I really liked it too. Obviously, he did escape. I mean, I think everyone sold it very well. I think, they weren't going to let the sand fall on him. He was going to escape. But then the twist at the end that he's one of the stagehands that comes out and breaks the glass to make sure that he's not in there. I thought that was a great twist.
Yeah, that was very good.
The wife sold it very well too.
Yeah. Do you think she knows how it's done?
I think she has to know how it's done. And she has to know that he got out okay, that he's not going to die. But I think her performance was probably as good as his.
Is this the one where he said this is the first time he did it?
I think so. Maybe it's the second time he's done it. Something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't write that down, but yes, it was. I think it was either the first or second time he's done it.
Yeah, I think this was the second time, and the previous magician was the first time. But yeah, that's interesting.
This is going to be a good guy. I think he's, I think he's going to have some great tricks down the road. I hope he doesn't get lazy in some of his tricks. I think his stage presence is really good. If he kind of has the wife do the drama thing off stage and be very worried, I think that's going to kind of help sell the act as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to bring some very good presentation to the stage.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, anything else for Demian?
Nope.
Lastly, we get Darci Lynne Farmer, a ventriloquist, and I think she's 12. Is that right?
I don't know.
I think she's 12. I think she said she got her first puppet when she's 10, and she's been doing this 2 years. So guess what? She's about the same age Grace was last year.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think of Darci Lynne?
So this is some Terry Fader style ventriloquism, sort of. But
yeah.
But I thought she's not really the best ventriloquist. Like, compared to Terry Fader, it's not even close, so...
No, and I'm sure Terry's had a lot more experience before he went on to audition.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, it kind of all hinges on like how believable it looks. I think this one wasn't really working for me.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good for only have done this for 2 years. I think she did a pretty good job. I think since her audition and until the next time she goes on to perform, and that's going to be in the live shows because she is Mel B's golden buzzer.
Yeah.
So we will see her in the quarterfinals, I believe, in a live show. I think she's going to have a lot of coaching between now and then to kind of help her ventriloquism. I think she's going to get better. I don't think she's going to have the problems that, I don't remember her name, the last ventriloquist we saw that did really good in auditions and then completely stunk it up in the second round.
Yeah.
I think she's going to do pretty well. A lot of people are saying that she's the winner.
The winner?
Yes, there's
really?
already people out. Yes, there are already people out there saying that she is the winner. That this is just Grace Vanderwaal of season 12. I'm not seeing it. I don't think she's a winner. She might get out of the quarterfinals if she can really work on her ventriloquism. I know we're talking September now, and that's several months away. I know this is episode 1, the premiere, and people are already saying that she's the winner. And I hate to even talk about this right after episode 1, but I don't think she's the winner. We haven't even seen the other acts yet. We've seen one episode. It's kind of hard to say that she's the winner at this point.
Yeah, that surprises me. That's interesting. I guess she had a likable personality, sort of. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she did. She seemed likable to me, and she's young. It's very so. I don't know. There's a lot there. I don't think she's going to win. But.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, if people think she's going to win, then they'll probably vote for her. So
that is true.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know.
That's something to mull over.
Yeah, let's chalk that one up for late July when we get to the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Do you think she was a good golden buzzer pick?
No.
It didn't seem like Mel's heart was in it to me.
Mel didn't seem like she was into this show at all, and I know that that all of these were probably filmed over several weeks. I mean, you could even tell in the different wardrobes that the Tyra and the judges were wearing. Well, except Simon, he wears the same thing every day.
Yeah.
But you can even tell that all of these performances were not in one taping. They were over several tapings. But it just seemed like she wasn't in it at all for this. And I think she just happened to pick this one because it's who had Grace last year? Was it Howie?
Yeah.
So she's probably just trying to get a jump on it, just to say that because since this is just like Grace from last year, she probably just wants to get a jump on it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if we're outside the norm on this one.
Okay, anything else on episode 1?
Yeah, it was interesting seeing all the ways that they sort of cleaned it up. Like, there were pretty much no host reaction shots during the performances. I think there were fewer judges' antics. there was probably only one montage of trash acts, and it feels like they just kind of cut down on the crap, really. Like, I think this could be a really good season. It's interesting to see them go that direction.
Yeah, I noticed that as well, that there weren't as many antics. I think we saw like a small clip, and maybe it was like for the coming weeks or whatever, but there was one small clip where Mel B threw water on Simon. But as far as some of the junk we've seen previous seasons, and I even think just, some of the judges kind of bickering at each other, I'm not sure we're going to see much of that anymore.
Yeah, and that makes me quite pleased. I felt really good about this episode. I thought the talent was particularly strong, which is nice. I don't like being super negative about the show, so yeah, this episode made me really happy to watch, and I wonder if this is a notable change, and that there could even be a push to get more people to watch the show who normally wouldn't. I don't know if it's that dramatic, but I'm pretty happy watching this first episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure getting more talent in the auditions is going to get more people to watch. As I mentioned earlier, I got into it because of the ridiculousness as well. I mean, obviously you want to see good talent, but I also want to see some ridiculousness. I want to see the judges kind of bicker at each other a little bit. I want to see them disagree.
Yeah.
I like it when they say, no, you're wrong, this is a good act, or, I can't believe that you're letting them go through. I kind of like seeing that. Not a lot, but every now and then I want to see them just disagree with each other and show that they're not all on the same page. Be judges. Have different opinions.
Yeah, I mean, this panel is notorious for just agreeing with each other all the time. But even this episode, there were some who almost made it through but didn't, which, I mean, that's great. And, like, even if, they show more bad acts, I think just keeping the focus on the acts is going to make people happy.
Yeah, I can agree with that. There was one thing I read out there that Britain's Got Talent got rid of judges' votes at the end of the live shows.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard that or if you knew about that.
I did not hear about that, but that's interesting.
Yeah, I read that, I think, on one of the Reddit posts, that Britain's Got Talent got rid of judges' votes at the end of the live show, and that AGT usually follows. Yeah, sometimes they do format changes based on what Britain's Got Talent, and there's a prediction that we may not have judges' votes at the end of the live shows this season. I don't have anything to kind of back that up. It was just a speculation by someone that posted, and maybe it was just clickbait.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I mean, I'm kind of in favor of that, because it's not like yanking it away from America arbitrarily, but like also at a certain point the judges aren't going to have anything to really do if they do that. So I don't know. I'll try to do some research, see if there's anything out there about what the rules are going to be at this stage, but yeah, that would be an interesting change.
Yeah, I would be all for getting rid of that. It's kind of pointless anyway, because they either A, split the vote and it still goes to America anyway, or they all vote the same.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really mean anything. It really doesn't mean much anyway, because it pretty much goes back to America. And they're just wasting time, because it's just judges down there going, well, I should vote for you because of this, or I should vote for you because of this. I don't know which one to vote for. And then credits are rolling, and we don't know who's going on in the next round. And
yeah, if we could get like a reasonably paced ending, I think I'd be all for that.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you could find that out, that'd be great. It was just something I noticed as I was reading through some of the posts today.
Yeah, well, all right. We've got some things to chew over.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on episode 1?
I think auditions are going to continue to be one episode a week. I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what we're doing next week. Okay.
Well, if that's the case, then we will continue to record on Wednesday nights and hopefully get a podcast to you guys by Thursday. If it's all on your schedule, so whenever you can get a podcast posted, then we'll get one out there as quickly as we can.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again, guys.
Yeah, so I don't think we have anything else to cover. Just go out. We'd love for you to subscribe to us, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and then we will be back this time next week with Auditions Week 2.
Yeah, and if you want to support the show, we've got a new way to do that. If you head over to our website, agtcast.com, in the sidebar, if you have AdBlock disabled, there's an Amazon affiliate link. If you click that, you can buy just whatever you want, and then Amazon will give us some money. So, that's the thing if you want to do that.
And we'd really appreciate it if you could support the podcast. It does, we spend money out of our pocket to kind of, for the hosting and the domain for the website. So we'd really appreciate it if you could support us in that, and we can get some better stuff out to you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if that's all, then we are going to call it a night, and we will be back next week with Week 2.
Goodbye.
Good night.